Welcome to assignment number 1 for Microsoft Excel in 2013. We're going to use Excel to create a spreadsheet for our business. We're going to launch the program and start a blank workbook. Now, since this is the first assignment that we're going to do with Microsoft Excel, we need to go through some of the things that you see in any spreadsheet. First of all, a spreadsheet is designed and organized according to cells. Just like in the game Battleship, where you have columns that are letters and rows that are numbers, you can identify cells such as this one such as G6. To enter in information into a cell, you simply click it and start typing. And so I'm going to type employee payroll. Press enter, and you notice that this cell, even though it extends into column B, really it is only in A1. Now let's use Excel as a payroll. We're going to keep track of the hours that our employees worked this week, and we'll keep track of their wages. So first of all, we need to put some column headings in. So I'm going to put in the title, last name, and then first name, and then I'm pressing tab between these keys so that the selection moves to the right. Hourly wage, and then I'm going to put in the date. Let's say January 1st and press enter. Over here I'm going to say that this is the hours worked, and this is their total pay. So I'll just put the word pay. Now you notice you can expand a column by clicking between the column headers, like between D and E. Now you can see the whole word. The next thing you need to do is you need to invent some names. So you get to come up with about 20 names, maybe 15 for your employees. I'll type them in now. Now you can see that I've invented names, last names, and first names, and now I'm going to give them an hourly wage. Each person makes about $15 or so, so I'll type in some numbers here. You notice when you type in numbers, they are right justified. When you type in the person's name in your spreadsheet, that they are all left justified. That's just a convention that Microsoft Excel uses so that you can identify letters versus numbers. Now, one of the items that you will most commonly use in Excel is formatting. These are all hourly wages. I'm going to select this range with my mouse by clicking and dragging. The first square is actually highlighted even though it's white. The other ones are gray. But what I want to do is change them into a currency. So I'm going to click on the dollar sign up here, and you notice that they all become dollar signs. They all are the hourly wage for each employee. Now let's invent a number for each of the employees for how long they worked. The average work week for a full-time person is about 40 hours. So I'll create I'll create the number of hours that each person worked in this column. After giving each employee a number of hours, we're going to start working with formulas now. Over here on this line, in this square, in E4, I'm going to create a calculated number, a calculated cell. If a person gets $15.90 an hour and they work for 40 hours, how much do they get paid? Well, fortunately, the calculations in Excel are quite easy to do. On my keyboard, I'm going to press the equal sign. And you notice up here in this area called the formula bar, we have an equal sign as well as the equal sign in the cell. Now I'm going to click on the cell that has the wage in it, $15.90. When I click there, the letter C4 is entered into the formula bar. C4 is the wage, $15.90. Now I want to multiply $15.90. So I'm going to press the Shift and the 8 key, which is the multiply sign, and then I'm going to click the 40, the number of hours that this person worked. So my formula is equals to C4 times the number that's in cell D4. When I press enter, it'll tell me that this person gets $636. If you go and change some of these numbers, such as if we added an hour here and I type 41 and press enter, the calculation is automatically updated. When you double click on a cell that has a formula, you will see that the colors correspond to the cells that you clicked. So C4 is in blue, which is this number, and D4 is in red. I'm going to press enter again, and it shows the numbers again. Microsoft Excel has a nice feature where you can copy and paste formulas. If I right click on this cell and choose copy, and then I click on the next cell and choose paste, it'll automatically calculate the next line. You can also highlight a range and choose right click and paste. It will fill down where all of those numbers are. Why does this one look like railroad tracks or a bunch of pound signs? It's because the value is actually too large to be held in this cell. So I need to make the column a little bit wider. And now it becomes visible. Another way to fill down, if you want to, you can go to the corner of a cell where there's a little green dot. And if you click exactly on the corner and drag your mouse down, it will also fill down the values in that column. And so now I've quickly calculated the pay for every single employee. One more thing that we're going to do with this formula is we're going to add a few lines at the bottom. I want to know who is the maximum, press enter, who is the minimum, press enter, what is the average pay, and what is the total pay. These numbers, max, min, average, and total, are just labels. But over here in this column, I'm going to put in a corresponding formula. Microsoft Excel has hundreds of formulas that are predefined. Here's one of them. You type in the equals sign, and then you type the word MAX. And you notice that these automatically are drop-down menus that show that this is one of the formulas that Excel knows about. After typing max, I use the open parentheses, which is the shift key and 9. And I'm going to drag my mouse across a range of cells till I come to the very top, release the mouse button, and press shift and 0 to do a close parenthesis. So what this will do, it will give me the maximum of all of these cells. The maximum person is getting $45 an hour. And so you can see in this line here that Trent Mann is making $45 an hour. Now I'd like to know who the minimum is, so I'm going to do the same process. Type equals sign, MIN, open parentheses, and drag my mouse across a range, and I will tell it what the minimum is after I press shift and 0, enter, and the lowly person in my office is getting $6.90. That looks like it's Paul Smith. Now, what's the average employee? Well, I can type in equals and then AV, and you see there's a bunch of formulas for average. I just want this most simple one. I'm going to choose average. I'm going to select the range, close parentheses, and press enter. The average employee makes $16.48. Okay, let's take this range here of 3 different formulas, highlight it, right click it with the mouse, copy it. Now I want to click in the next column over, right click, and paste, and now you see that we have the maximum, the minimum, and the average for the number of hours that are being worked. Now you notice that these values are listed as dollars. They're actually not dollars. They're number of hours that the persons are working. So I want to change these formattings back to general numbers. Up here in the ribbon, where you will find the number formatting area, there's a small arrow that if you click it will bring up a dialog box that shows all different types of formatting for numbers. I'm going to select general and click OK. Now, why does this number have so many decimal places in it? It's because we are computing an average. It would be nice if we would just round these off to maybe the tenth place or the hundredth place. So let's go to these zeros here, and we're going to decrease the decimals that we're rounding to. So to the nearest tenth is good enough for us. So now we have the number of hours, maximum, minimum, and average for our employees here in column D. For column E, we could also find the maximum, the minimum, and the average as well. So let's highlight this group. I'm going to select this bottom right corner, drag to the right, and it fills to the right now, and it shows me that these are the maximum dollars that someone made, the minimum dollars, and the average. Once more, these are dollars figures. These are not hours. So let's change these to the dollars format. So I'm going to click up here on the dollar sign. And now we have the average, the maximum, and the minimum in the salary for this week. So now we've created the maximum, the minimum, and the average for each of these columns C, D, and E. We haven't done anything yet with the total. For the total, let's find out what the total number of hours worked was, and let's find out what the total number of wages that we've paid is. So for the word sum, we type equals SUM, and that will give us the total. Let's do Shift and 9, and then I'm going to select a range here. I'm going to select all of the hours worked, close parentheses, and enter, and you'll see that there were 695 hours worked in my shop. Now I'm going to fill this to the right, and shows that I made a lot of, or paid a lot of money for my wages this week. I'm going to change this to a dollar sign format, and it shows now $11,532. The last thing we should do is put our name at the top. So maybe C1 is a good place. Type in your name, press enter, save the spreadsheet, print it, and you're done with assignment number 1 for Excel.